Candid Talk from Northeast. Today, I have with me eminent literature and former president of Assam Sahitya Sabha, Dr Kuladhar Saikia, a retired Indian police service officer. Dr Saikia was former Director General of Police in Assam. Dr. Saikia is a recipient of several literary awards, including the prestigious Sahitya Academy Award, Kotha National Award, and Munin Barkataki Award. He is a Fulbright Scholar in Community Leadership from the University of Pennsylvania and did his PhD from IIT Guwahati. A prolific writer and thinker, Dr. Saikia has so far published 30 collections of his short stories and other works. He is also acclaimed for his innovating ideas of leveraging digital technology in taking Assamese literary works to a wider global audience. Welcome, Dr. Saikia.
Thank you for bringing me here.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
To start with, you have been deeply involved in creative writing in Assamese language for past several decades. How were you drawn to this beautiful world of letters?
See, it's a little bit of a long journey. Since school days, I was writing and it continued. It's just a big continuum, in fact. So that's all. It started when I started it in the school. And, maybe class 5 or 6th standard, like that. I started writing in the school magazine, then newspapers in children's corner, and then I got the state level award for my poetry. After that, sort of writing keeps going on that way.
Yeah, it's quite a long journey, several decades old journey. So you write short stories frequently, even today. And your short stories are generally not very long. They are really short stories with a content. And however, the experience of reading your stories give us an image that you are actually telling your readers a singular story throughout the decades, revealing vivid realities and emotions. Time has changed. The world order has changed, but you haven't changed your style of writing. You plan a particular thought, design the plot, and place your characters accordingly. Finally, they come with deep emotions and beautifully crafted words to portray diversified realities of contemporary society. Would you please share with our viewers about the process of writing your stories and what do you do to make yourself relevant among the readers, even today?
It's a huge question for me, but different elements I'll pick up. First one is about how do I write, and what do I write, and things like that.
The process of creating.
In fact,
Yes.
Yeah. So the basic fact about writing is, particularly short fictions, you see, it depends on the writer himself, how he wants to look at a particular storyline, how he wants to look at the style component of it. In fact, generally, I feel that a short story writer, basically, he compress the time of compress the moments of life, actually, right? So it may not be very long. It may be just, if he's satisfied with the compression, the particular moments are captured, compressed in very few pages, then it's all right. And it's easier to read also a short fiction rather than reading too many pages on that. In fact, as you said, the singular, it's not the singular theme as such. I have
Not the theme, but
really
the
covered a lot
style
of
of writing.
I love
The
writing,
style of
yeah.
writing,
So
yeah.
generally style of writing is, how you want to craft a story,
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
what it is about. But if you look at my earlier stories, say before 2000, right? Those
Mm.
were having a little bit of descriptive narrations, basically what the story is about. It was being narrated like that, in a simple way. But our post 2000 stories of mine have taken it little different turn, because I feel that, our life has become more speedy. Life is becoming more complex. So complexities of life and the society as such around me, all these are represented in my stories. Then my story has to be little bit of, speedy. It should have some pace. So that is how it became. The style became a different, distinctly different from my pre
Yes.
2000
It's very
stories,
distinctive.
right?
Yes.
But uh, yeah, very distinctive that way. I really feel myself as well.
Yes. Of
I
course.
feel more comfortable in that style only, that,
Hmm.
say, for example, a lot of tell me in my style, the sentence keeps on going, and commas and small different punctuations altogether. But after all, the narrative style is about, how what rather than what is happening, how it is
Hmm.
happening, that impresses me more for a moment. That is
Hmm.
how my style has undergone a change, as you said. Mhm.
Yeah, it is so unique, and really, there are so many things to learn, and we have to, read. I mean, particularly for me, I read several times uh, to catch up. It's and it is so relevant. The style may not be changed, but it is relevant even today. And also you are a deep insider to your own stories, and it seems you are a solitary traveler of a self-assigned journey in the world of literature. You always love to explore human relationship in different circumstances. How do you do that? Do you read many books, or do you read characters to construct the story?
Yeah, very interesting question. In fact, the journey of myself, going into myself, is because of the fact that, the concept of reality is different from, observer to observer, right? How I see a really event, and actually what type of image I gather out of it, that is what
Mm-hmm.
is coming to my stories. So in fact, that is how I write a story. It's not about looking for a character or whatever, but it's basically, style is what it is. Just, the construct of the story is just the foundation. You allow your impressions, you allow your images, you allow your metaphors to have a foundation. That is called a construct, basically. How you will
Mm-hmm.
rest your thought process, to go forward. So here, why I look into my own self and journey is because, you see, how an event is perceived by you may not be perceived similarly by me as well, right? So
Yeah.
I have a different perception of any event. That is how a lot of my stories have gone into the metaverse of human mind. And
Yes.
that is why a lot of stories, when you read my stories, you'll find that sentences most often keep on going, because and sometimes it looks disoriented, because when we think,
Yeah.
when we have image building within us,
Mm-hmm.
these are not in a linear way. These are
Mm-hmm.
all non linear. I keep on
Yeah.
thinking something now, immediately
Mm-hmm.
my thought process is again superimposed by some other thought process, right? So that is why these type of mental journey,
Yeah.
what becomes, storyline for me. And the story, the whatever storyline in traditional way we talk, it comes into the picture, but basically the image about it, how I perceive
Mm.
the reality. That is what.
Yeah, I still
Mhm.
remember reading one of reports. Perhaps you were in London, and you were talking about the stream of the narrative of stream of consciousness in your writing. I still remember, yes, the stream of consciousness, it is there, but you reveal so many realities through your stories, and that's why you are. You have been writing so many years throughout the decades, and your themes and your they are still very relevant, and they reflect certain realities of what is happening even today. Apart from a
Uh,
storyteller, you are also a playwright. As a story writer, you are still highly creative and imaginative. Do you at times feel confined as a short story writer? Have you ever thought of writing a novel? I mean, a big novel with a larger landscape with your unique style of
see,
writing? Mm.
all right. The first, I tried a novel also in 2000, just before 2000. And I wrote a novel called, Nirjan Depot Edin, meaning a day in a solitary island. And it was translated to Hindi, then Penguin India had published that. In fact, after that, I have not tried writing novel. Novel, you have a lot of patience, then you got to have a big canvas where a lot of dots are there. You have to go on connecting the entire network and things like that. So I myself feel that I'm not confined or constrained by the short story world, because it gives you so much of leverage. It gives you so much
Yes.
of possibilities around. So
And
I
challenges
feel
are also there.
short story writing. Uh-huh.
It is also challenging.
Sorry.
It is also
Yeah, it's
challenging
challenging.
if you
Yeah,
compare
how
with
you
an, yeah.
yeah, novel. How you go on, how efficiently you can compress the moments of life in very few pages.
Yeah.
And even after whenever a short story finishes, the last line of the short story doesn't end it. When I write a short story, after that it goes to the reader. Now, when the reader reads the last line of my short story, his story begins, meaning he entire universe for him, the thinking, etc., out of my short story is open, and he can put on his own inputs. He can think of on the canvas of his own life. So I think short story gives a good amount of leverage and possibilities for us.
Hmm. Yeah. Why, according to you, writing in mother tongue is important in present day context?
This is important because you see, number one, I feel that through mother tongue, if I write in my own language, it will reach out to my people around very first, number one. Number two, it will reach out to them the way I thought about it, the way my imagination, my imagery, my metaphor came to me while writing it will reach them, and they will also, find, they will also identify themselves. For example, if I say a translated story may not be taking all in an unadulterated form, because you see there are words in Assamese, there are words in other languages which have special meaning, because words are also culture based. A lot of them, the culture behind the words matters. So I feel, and plus, I think mother language is always, mother language always allows you to have very wide creative ideas, and it really allows for creativity to go up. That's why I
Mm.
feel I can, if I feel I can write in mother language, then I'll definitely do that.
Yes, yes. Very true. Very true. So you have not kept yourself confined to your own creative works. You have been actively engaged in connecting generations, a very crucial task to make Assamese language more visible in digital platform. Will you please share with our viewers about such initiatives? Why, according to you, visibility in digital platform is important for a regional language like Assamese?
See, in the whole world now, the fear is about digital extinction of a language, because
Mm,
the digital world has become so powerful. It has started defining our life, our culture, our language, our literature, right? So if we do not make prominent, if we do not figure prominently in the digital world, then we will be left behind.
yeah.
Say, I was reading about it that, in fact, it's true also that 4 or 5 languages like English, Russian, then Chinese, Spanish, 4 or 5 languages are dominating the digital world now. And there
Mhm,
is a fear amongst a lot of small languages in all over the world that at particular point of time, if they don't take certain urgent steps, those languages will have no presence in the digital world. For example, I'll tell you, there are almost 21 languages in the Eastern European countries. They are having that fear that one
mm,
point of time, our elements, our components in the digital world will be minimized. In fact, Estonian, then Lithuanian, then Slovenia, all these languages, small number of people are speaking in those languages. They are rich language otherwise, but they feel that slowly and gradually they are losing space in the internet. So that is why I feel that a language of such history and culture, Assamese, I'm talking about Assamese language, should be a part, should have a dominant position in the internet world. That is why I'd given the call for, though
mm.
there have been a lot of individual attempts, group level attempts to make
Yes,
Google Translate. Then I had given an open call when I was the President Saikia Sabha that
yes,
everybody should, uh, contribute to that Google Translate. And it's good that it has come out very well now. And but people
yes.
do require to put more input so that it goes on, improving. But as I was saying about digital extension, there are how do we think about more about language technology? That is very important because a lot of countries, small languages, they're thinking that even they are doing their own variations of Google Translate. They are doing their own
Mm,
language uh, on such translation apps are doing better. So not only that, desktop proofing tool or multilingual apps, those certain or use of language technology, all these things should come to our language and literature to make
mm,
our presence felt in the internet space. That is why I,
mhm.
as a Sahitya Sabha president, I was talking about digitization of Assamese books.
Yeah,
It will help us in conservation. It will help us in conservation, preservation, then circulation of those books all over the world.
yes.
Anybody wanting to research on Assamese language or literature cannot come to Assam. They can look at in their own home and see this in the internet. So that is why we had this Granthako. Granthako
Yes.
was the digital library for Assam Sahitya. So around 1,200 were digitized till
Yeah.
then, like that. So this is
Yes.
what,
Yeah. We
in
remembered
fact,
your.
we introduced that everybody should be doing sort of online discussions, online storytelling sessions, online recitation
Yes.
of poems. Those will also create digital inputs, in
Okay.
the
Oh.
internet. So that is If any search engine has to take up anything on Assamese, they will look for all these. So in such
Mm-hmm.
situations, presence is very important. So
Yeah.
that is how I wanted to make it a big movement, so that everybody participates in this.
Yeah. Yes, it has already taken the shape of a movement, because we remember that you gave a call, and that time, some years back, and that time presence of Assamese contents, Assamese language contents were very few in internet, but it has been increasing. Today there are lot many. We still have to do a lot of things, but it is increasing, and that's a good sign. And there are some group effort also to increase the volume or number of Assamese language in digital world. And of late, you have
That is
been
very,
close.
that is very
Yeah.
good. No, I said that's a very good initiative by a lot of young people
Hmm.
from the state, as well as who are outside and abroad. In fact, we
Yeah.
connected all the youth and children all over the world at that time,
Yes.
so that it becomes popular, learning the language,
Hmm.
then making some sort of tools and apps. And in
Yeah.
fact, what I feel today, I got a chance to tell the viewers that we must know how to use language technology now, in the sense that we have to give voice inputs, so that tomorrow, if I give a dictation, if to the internet, then they can, to the search engines, so that they can find out find out the output for us, right? So language technology, you have to put the voice, and that has to be. I was having 2-3 meetings with Google that way, so
Yeah.
that how we can operationalize that voice technology, the audio inputs
Hmm.
for Assamese. I have a number of them till now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your inputs. You are not right now. You are not a president of Ahom Sahitya Sabha, and your initiative are still going on. Like.
To some extent, I've heard that at least those people who have taken up those work, they are doing it
Yeah.
all over the world. In fact,
Uh-huh.
translation and putting it in the net and things like that. Even Wikipedia, wiki sources, we
Hmm.
had a lot of workshop and things like that. So a lot of new guys have entered now, and they are doing it good now. And a lot of people have started such type of activities from a long time. The Assamese youth, they have been
Hmm.
doing it very well, and I really appreciate how they can take the language and literature forward. They have been doing it good, and good thing. I mean, that type of feeling should come over to the Assamese people, that our language has to have a prominent role in the
Hmm.
digital world.
Yeah. Of late, you have been closely associated with Hofura as a chief editor of the magazine. This is a children magazine, and you have taken important steps to encourage creative ideas of young children in the state. You have encouraged them to express their views in various ways. You have taken steps for storytelling sessions among young children. Please tell us about these initiatives and the experiences.
See, we all know that children are our today, children are our tomorrows, right?
Yeah.
So that everything, the language and literature will depend on how they take it forward. So for
Yes.
that reason, we thought that storytelling can be the best tool, best device through which they can be brought back to the language if they were away, or their interest can be created, right? So that is how we thought storytelling would be a very good step, looking a
Yeah.
step forward. So that's why we made storytelling competitions, then storytelling in schools, then even we had told BU committees and apartment societies in different areas to organize those, and those sessions with the children. And we used to go, I used to personally go to some lot of sessions, so that storytelling picks up. Now
Yeah.
in Safura also, in Hafura magazine also, such a iconic magazine in Assam, particularly for children. That magazine also we are trying to think about holding such sessions, because storytelling can be done in different ways. In fact,
Yes.
during my tenure in Sahitya Sabha, I used to hold that Putalanas, the Putalanas, through how we can show the stories through this Putalanas shows, how we
Yeah.
can use that. So lot of sessions were held like that. In fact, that gives a different view altogether. We tied up with the All India Radio to broadcast the different stories. And very interesting thing was that we made it compulsory for all to have at least one or two short two stories from folk tales from the tribal people from different smaller languages like Karbi, Rabha, and other people. Their stories were taken up and read out in those sessions. This was only to give our children the impression that we are born and brought up in a society which is multi-ethnic, multilinguistic, and we have such a tremendous partnerships in building the culture,
Yeah.
that everybody is a part of such partnership. That is why we decided that we'll have stories from the tribal folktales and things like that, That is what it really earned a lot of public attention.
Yeah. Amazing. And you have been working with young writers for projects that initiated by you. What are some of your thoughts that you share with them? You want to share with them, and how hopeful you are about their work and future of Assamese literature?
That's interesting because we had special sessions where called Swadesh Abhiman through Sahitya Sabha time, and in fact later on also we thought about it. So there we asked the youth to speak on particular topic for 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, and they will speak to the audience. Say 5 speakers speaking on 5 topics, like what was the naval strategy of Lachit Borphukan. What do we understand by Brahmaputra culture? Brahmaputra Valley civilization. Sort of things like that. Because number one, that if some nationalities are not connected with the old achievement, their heritage, then the nation will not go ahead, that particular nationality will not go ahead. So they must know about their heritage, right? And to have a partnership, to have a feeling for the feeling of root in the heritage. That is one. Second one is that our youth, they should be speaking on different topics very confidently and very, in a way so that audiences do listen to them, because they have to represent Assam outside the state through their talk and deliberations. And of course, that deliberations should have content and quite a very nicely studied materials, right? So that is how we started doing it. 15, 16 sessions were held over Assam, different colleges, different public halls and all. So these, plus that had given them confidence also to face, interviews or whatever in public life, so that they can speak out in very brief moment, given time on a particular theme. That was the main idea, and they did well. And I'm sure they're very intelligent youth we have. And if all of us go together, they can really do well. I mean, if we give our helping hand to them, whatever they require, and so much things to learn from them, they are storehouses of knowledge. And, maybe we have little more experience because of the years, age, but they have so much of knowledge. We have to learn from them as well. that is what the basic idea about that particular program, and we are still continuing it. I still have coffee sessions with them in different coffee houses, tea stalls, meeting. We talk about it.
Yeah. Dr. Hoike, you are such a fortunate person because in your family, everyone is a writer. Your wife, Lina Hormaisi, is such a prolific writer. Your son, Aranyak Hoike, he's a short story writer. How inspiring all these things at home.
You see, everybody takes his own hobbies ahead, no? But definitely, maybe, small little inspiration here and there while we talk,
You all
we
inspire each
discuss,
other,
and,
like at home.
sort of thing. Inspiration, I do not know, but maybe some sort of, give
Yeah.
and take type of
Because it is
atmosphere.
not easy
Yeah.
also. Each one is a creative writer. It's not in a family. It's not very easy actually.
It's not difficult too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Hoikia, for sharing with us about your journey and perspectives. We are grateful to you for your valuable time and kind consent to take part in the conversation. We will have more stories to listen about your unfinished journey as a storyteller, writer, and a thinker. Hello, viewers. I'm sure you enjoyed the conversation. I will come back with another guest in the next episode. Till then, goodbye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.